Hello everyone, it's me, Kavou, and today I'm doing a different type of video. Today I will talk about why, like many others, I am extremely troubled about the next Elder Scrolls game we are going to get, if we're going to get it. I'm gonna make points and talk about why I think Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to look as good and why, here comes the clickbait, why I think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the last Elder Scrolls game we are going to witness. You can throw a like, subscribe. It truly helps me find my audience. I ask for nothing more and this means so much, even if you're listening to this right now. One thing I want to make, unlike my voice, perfectly clear from this video, either you liking it or disliking it, either you watching this video or not, is that I love Bethesda games.
I'll see you in pieces!
Actually, here is my hot take. I love games, guys, and especially I love RPG games. So when I make those type of videos where I criticize, for now it's Bethesda, tomorrow it's going to be some other company, I don't do it to hate farm, I don't do it to throw rocks on Skyrim or Elder Scrolls 6 or whatever game. I do it because I believe through criticism it is extremely important to express our problems in life and just let other people know about it, just to have a discussion, if I may. Now, when it comes to Bethesda games, if you look at the background of the games they've made in the past 10 years, there is only two words I can describe their games as: successfully mediocre. In the end, when you weigh the goods and bads, you get somewhere in between, left out like Fallout 4 and Starfield, which, by the way, I am going to talk about this. We are getting mid games and I will say boring games. One of my most hateful videos I've ever made in this channel was me criticizing Starfield and giving it a 6 out of 10. This is important because, as I'm going to expand my points in this video, this will play a huge role why we don't get much more criticism when it comes to the Bethesda games. Instead, we are getting those fake critics and those paid actors trying to hype up Bethesda games. I don't know from where to start, but in case you guys don't know, Bethesda has been working or cooking the Elder Scrolls 6 for over 10 years. And you might say, oh Kavou, everybody knows that. Here is something that is going to scare you, alright? Hold your chair and hold your pants very tight. I'm going to say this very slowly. Emil Pagliarulo. What I just said was not the name of a bubonic plague or something like that. No, that's something even worse. This is the main writer, the main guy, the up dude who has been writing the Bethesda games since Fallout 3. If you ever thought Bethesda's writing was kinda bad and boring, alright, as if I would be writing those games, it's because of this one guy. And this is important because this one guy has been writing the Elder Scrolls 6 over the past 10 years and he will continue to do so. For a fact, I am putting my hand in the fire. I don't know if that phrase even works in English, okay, I'm sorry. It's a skill issue, I'm not very good at speaking English, you guys can tell. The writing of the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be boring. And you might say, Kavou, that's fine. And I agree with you because it was the same with Skyrim, it was the same with, I don't know, Fallout 4, so what's the problem? Here is the problem, alright? And I'm going to talk about Skyrim and try to compare that with Starfield and Fallout 4 very briefly, if I may. Skyrim, in my opinion, and let me know down in the comment section if you agree with me or not, is the most successful game I know that has the biggest amount of bugs and problems in it. So many holes, but it still just works. And you know why people still come and play Skyrim, including myself? Because when you put the million bugs the game has, you know what? Skyrim is still a good game. Boom! That's another hot take, alright? Skyrim is a great game, and that's the main point. You want the bugs not to outweigh the goods. In Starfield, it feels like the opposite situation with Skyrim. The game feels plainly bad. Fallout 4, in my opinion, is somewhere in between, slightly above. But what I'm trying to say is that if the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a Starfield situation or a Fallout 4 situation when it comes to its content, the dialogue, the game itself, the boring combat, I can name list 100 of those things. When the writing is extremely bad, it's going to make the game feel really boring. Writing when it comes to an RPG game, it's like goes as hard as butter with bread. You cannot play Baldur's Gate, you cannot play Morrowind, you cannot play Fallout New Vegas with bad writing. And by the way, the only game that has good writing that Bethesda has made, a question marks, and that's because it was made by a different company. So my main concern when it comes to Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the bad writing, which trust me, 100% we're getting that. At best case scenario, we get a situation like Skyrim. Is that going to happen? For that, I cannot say, guys, we don't have any more information on that. Here is another thing that was the reason why I've wanted to make this video, guys, and this is extremely scary. Hold your chair and your pants even harder because I'm gonna drop it now. 2 more words, guys. Creation Engine 2. Wait, that was 3 words? I was never good at school, guys. I'm sorry about that. But Creation Engine 2 is the engine Bethesda has been working their asses over the past 10 years, in which Starfield, they finally released their amazing new big dick engine that is going to carry us to victory, just like King Alexander conquered the world. Nope, that's not going to work, guys. The engine is dog poop, alright? It's horrible. It's more worse than my social life. And you might say, oh Kavou, who cares about the Creation Engine? Who cares about Starfield? By the way, you care because I'm not going to be too cognitive about this, but the only thing that distinguishes the Creation Engine 1 and the Creation Engine 2 is the number 2, guys. There is no difference. It is a horrible engine. My opinion, guys, if you don't care about all of the other things we can talk about in this video, this is the biggest red flag. I can make a whole dedicated video and talk about the Creation Engine 2, but just to save your time, I'm gonna keep this very brief. A third thing that comes to another big problem that comes with Bethesda, I thought that was kinda small, but with Starfield over the past year, it became even bigger, is the disconnection from Bethesda and the community. And you might say about Kavou that was always the case. Not entirely. We had the mod apocalypse back early 2010, including the Creation Club drama that happened over the past year or two. There was always some sort of connection when it comes to Bethesda and the players. With Starfield, or after Starfield and its newest DLC, it showed that Bethesda is completely disconnected from their fans. They don't hear the criticism, they are covering their ears with sweet rolls, and they are trying to pay bad actors or bad comments on different pages, including Steam, YouTube videos. Essentially, they don't care about what you and me are thinking about their games. They don't want to improve. They have been bashing out people talking about Starfield. At this point, I feel blessed that we are actually getting Skype even for the modders and that Bethesda is actually helping the modding community. There is still hope out there, but when it comes to their newest games, guys, it is just not looking very good. The way the dev team is interacting with the player base, it gives me Ubisoft vibes. If Elder Scrolls 6 turns out to be like Starfield, aka a just hollow, boring game just like me, this is going to be the last game they're going to release, guys. There will be no Bethesda after Elder Scrolls 6 sinks down, so they really have to cook something good. They have to start listening to us, they have to start picking up notes and do the right things to at least create a good game. Here is the last point why I think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the last Elder Scrolls game we're going to get, and why Bethesda has extremely high chances of ruining it and creating a bad game. Over the past 10 years, Bethesda has taken a lot of risks. Bethesda has been trying to improvise, create something new. We see the Creation Engine, we see all of the new things they're doing with their games, adding multiplayer to Fallout 76. God rest your soul, Fallout 76. They're trying to create so many things. Their games have becoming more boring as they try to add new ideas, and they are not aging well. The only reason Bethesda exists and the only good product Bethesda has released over the past 10 years plus is Skyrim and all of the different million versions of Skyrim they have sold. So it's not only that Bethesda is living in the past, but even when they are trying so hard to improve, so hard to try new things and do better, they're just failing. Here is the 1 million septim same question, guys, that I'm asking you to answer down in the comments. Do you think Bethesda can make a good game? Do you think that? Because I thought they could do that with Starfield. Is The Elder Scrolls 6 going to be different than all of the other games they've released over the past 10 years? If we follow the formula, everything shows that they are not going to make a good game, guys. The odds are against them, but that doesn't mean they cannot overcome and create something good. And I don't know if I can trust Todd Howard anymore to sell me his sweet little lies. And here is the last point when it comes to Bethesda overall, which I think is the worst thing. It's one of those things that kinda makes me feel the worst when it comes to everything. That is the criticism and the hate mobs, or should I say the nowadays Bethesda fans. Nowadays, there has been this huge increase of this hate mob, those servitors that work under Todd Howard's influence, the bootleggers of Bethesda, if I may. They are not going to allow anybody to criticize any of Bethesda games. I don't know when this started to happen, but this feels extremely toxic. I have to say, as I've said in the start of the video, that I love Bethesda games. I want the Elder Scrolls 6 to be the best game ever made. I want to, when I go to work or when I go to sleep, to be dreaming about me playing Elder Scrolls 6, you know, as I used to do back when I was playing World of Warcraft. I want the Elder Scrolls 6 to be not just a good game, the best game. And I wanted all of the Bethesda games, the previous ones, to be good as well. This might be something small and minor, but again, I wanted to put this as a reason why I don't think the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be, again, as good or will be one of the last games we've seen from Bethesda, if not the last Elder Scrolls game. When you have a company that is disconnected from the player base, and when on top of that you have a player base that's extremely toxic, we are not going to get good results, guys. That being said, that was my 4 or 5 points why I think, again, the Elder Scrolls 6 is looking very troubling, and even if Bethesda takes an extra a year or two, close some of the holes, fix some of the gaps, in the end, their game and the people they have working on the game, it doesn't look like we're going to get a good Elder Scrolls. If anything, I don't think the Elder Scrolls game is going to be as good as Skyrim. Bethesda has been the last company, AAA company that I still had some faith in, but with Starfield and over the past 10 years, of course, everything before Starfield, I just completely have lost my trust when it comes to Bethesda. At this point, I am more excited about the modders and the work that is Sky Oblivion and Skywind and the mods we're getting for Skyrim, and hopefully with Sky Oblivion we will be able to play Oblivion and mod Oblivion as well. Bethesda has to really pull something crazy out of their hat. That was my boring take or my points when it comes to why I don't see a good future when it comes to the Elder Scrolls 6. Let me know what you think. What's your opinion? Do you think it's going to be good? Because again, the Elder Scrolls is this one game that Bethesda is still good at. I hope you had a fantastic day, and if you made it through this point of the video, thank you so much for watching, guys. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't, it means a lot, and thank you for watching this episode. That being said, God bless you, and until next time, stay out of trouble and happy modding.